Okay, so I was randomly scrolling through TikTok when I came upon this video. And I really thought, wow, this is such a great depiction of why mental health is so important in the military. So naturally, I went to the comment section, and what I found there was a bit surprising. There was so much information on there that was completely incorrect, and it made me realize that there is still a huge stigma in the military when it comes to mental health. And this is a little concerning, especially as someone who has struggled with their mental health and has reached out and has had a pretty positive impact with it. One of the things that I wanted to do was dive deeper into these stigmas and why they are so prevalent. So I set out to, go around and ask some experts and some people who have had mental health issues themselves. Now this here is Jacqueline Sims. She's a D13 Employee Assistance Coordinator in the Southern Region here in Astoria. I showed her the comments of this video, and I asked her if she thinks that there might be some type of distrust that individuals might feel with their leadership.
I think that it's a legitimate concern. And historically, the military has not done a good job of having conversations about mental health. They've not done a good job about addressing the stigma.
And she's not wrong. Check out this old Corpsman video.
I don't know, sir. I try to do things right, but nothing seems to work. I don't know.
He's not trying. Take a look at him, sir. I've spoken to him time and again about his appearance. He doesn't shave or take care of his clothes or anything.
I do try. These headaches.
He's just trying to work a deal, sir. I know about these headaches.
You've been on sick call several times, and they haven't found anything wrong with you.
I know, sir, but
You've just got to pull yourself together, and that's all there is to it.
Sir, I don't want to make any trouble. But sometimes I feel so bad. I think I'm going to kill myself. I don't know what to do.
Now, that's stupid talk. Pull yourself together and act like a man.
Did you know about 60% of the military is expected to have some sort of mental health issue at some point in their life? There's a very large prevalence of stigmas. The largest prevalence is my unit leadership might treat me differently at 44.2%. After that, I would be seen as weak at 42.9%. Members of my unit will have less confidence in me would be 41.3%. It would be too embarrassing is 36.1%. 33.4% said that it would harm their career. At last, my leadership will blame me for my problem at 25.5%. Interesting enough, members were not as concerned about losing their security clearance or losing a qualification if they seek out mental treatment.
It's definitely a sign of continued distrust. And it just means that the messaging has not reached the lowest levels yet. And historically, like I said before, the military has not done a great job in providing mental health care for their service members and understanding and in educating themselves on the subject. It's a work in progress, and it's getting better, every single day. Back in 2016, the federal government revised the background security clearance, or the security clearance background investigation questionnaire. So the standard form 86.
This document states that mental health treatment and counseling in and of itself is not a reason to revoke or deny eligibility for the access to classified information or the holding of sensitive positions, suitability or fitness to obtain or retain a federal or contract employment, or eligibility for physical and logical assessment to federally controlled facilities and or information systems. Seeking or receiving mental health care for a person's wellness and recovery may contribute favorably to this decision. Therefore, seeking medical treatment is going to be okay in these cases. Court-ordered mental health treatment or being deemed as mentally incompetent is going to be the only causes for concerns that someone may have. Even when knowing this is going to be a very, very small chance of this actually happening. Did you know that out of 2.4 million people who applied for a security clearance between 2012 and 2018, only 12 people got denied only for psychiatry issues?
Just having a mental health challenge does not result in losing your career or having your security clearance removed or denied. Every situation is unique, every situation is individualized, and not every situation results in losing a qualification or a restriction at work. For the most part, it's going to be the least restrictive means, and you're going to probably be able to do the majority of your job, if not all of it. The biggest progress that the military has made and leadership at all levels have made, especially in the last 5 years, is understanding mental health and encouraging service members to go out and seek the resources that are available to them.
Knowing what you know now, discuss the following.
When dealing with someone who believes that they're experiencing mental health issues, command or the supervisor can reach out to myself. They can reach out to someone in medical. They can have those conversations on how to navigate the process of getting the care for that service member that they need, and doing it the right way.
This is Austin Ives. He's a retired Coast Guard captain who continued his mental health journey outside of the military and continues to advocate for stronger relationships with the understanding of mental health and what toll it can take in an operational capacity in the Coast Guard. This is his experience with reaching out for help and what it looked like after he suffered from several PTSD-induced panic attacks.
Next day, I had my ODUs on, with the Eagles, and I walked into the clinic. Again, tears streaming down my face. And I'll always remember the look of the HS behind the desk, like kind of that, like, oh crap, like, what's going to happen here? I have this captain coming in, he's crying, like, he's barely contained himself. And I walked up to the counter and he said, sir, how can I help you? And I said, I think I have PTSD. This is even hard for me to recount. I said, I think I have PTSD. I need to talk to a doctor now. And to their credit, they took me back. I talked to the doctor, and at the end of like 60 minutes, it just again, crying. I walked out of there with referrals for psychiatry, psychology, and medication. So we have a definitive study saying the mental health outcomes are comparable, boat station combat deployment. What are we doing about that? Can we do anything about that?
I'm going to tell you guys about the day that I decided to reach out for help. I went over my PHA and I told them all my symptoms. I told them I wanted more help in addressing my mental health issues. Immediately, I had a referral out to telehealth, and that's where I found my psychologist and my psychiatrist. I was diagnosed with PTSD and depression. Now I'm medicated and in a significantly better spot than I was beforehand. During that visit, my provider reassured to me that this is not career ending. In fact, the majority of the times, it's not career ending at all. For those of you stationed in more remote areas and aren't co-located with a Coast Guard medical center, you don't even have to talk to someone in the military to receive help. And because of this DoD instruction, there is no obligation to report anything to your command unless you are a possible threat to yourself or others. If you are put on some type of restriction of duty, just know that it's temporary. And at the end of the day, the Coast Guard's just a job. Your mental health is significantly more important.
Part of my role as an Employee Assistance Program Coordinator is to help reduce the stigma, increase help-seeking behaviors, and be there for the service members when they feel like they're being ostracized or retaliated against or punished in some capacity for seeking those services. So always give your command, your supervisor, the opportunity to help you. If you still don't feel comfortable, that's fine, because there are several other avenues that are available to you.
Let me tell you, you have a whole bunch of resources at your disposal. The resource you always hear us talk about is CG Support. You can call their toll-free number and get 12 free counseling sessions out of it. I also encourage you to go to medical because this way you can get a referral out to a counselor. You can get a referral to an in-person provider, or if you're antisocial and don't like to drive like me, you can get a referral to telehealth. That way there is just a little bit of a digital barrier between you and your provider, and it makes it a little easier for you to connect with them. You also have the chaplain, who's a great resource, and even if you're not religious, they can offer some non-spiritual advice as well. If you believe that you are going through a suicidal crisis, you can contact 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. You can dial 1 so you can get to a military specialist. If you aren't comfortable talking to them over the phone, you can also text them at 988 and they'll connect you to someone. Or you can go into their chat box on their website.
I personally, if I was going to reach out to somebody in a time of need, it would be the chaplain. They have 100% confidentiality. So if you feel like you're at the point where you're considering suicide, and you go tell the chaplain's not going to tell anyone else. And if you are in imminent danger, please go to the ER as soon as possible.
At the end of this video, I'm going to flash a QR code. This QR code has all the information that you're going to need to reach out for assistance. I appreciate everything that you guys do, and ultimately just remember that you're not alone. Although I know this video is just a couple minutes of your time, I'm really hoping that it helps people reach out. Last year, we had about 600 people reach out for behavioral health assistance in D13 altogether. And this is extremely important because those 600 people are receiving more help than they could have probably done by themselves. I'm grateful for everything you guys are doing, and I'm grateful that you guys are reaching out for help. I'm just hoping that someone else sees this video and thinks it's probably my turn.